Hi everyone and welcome back to the Feeling Alive podcast. I'm your host for today, Anna, and it's a great pleasure to be back again with you. And today we are talking about a very important topic that can feel both incredibly important but also a little awkward. Asking for help. Why is it saying that I'm not okay feels a little strange or difficult? Why does it feel like running a marathon you haven't trained for? To tackle this very important topic today with me, we have our lovely two guests that were also with us the last time, Luiz and Bárbara. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Hi, it's a pleasure too to be here again.
And because this is such an important topic and actually asking for help can be quite difficult, today we also have joining us Priscila, a psychologist, a trainer, and a very multifaceted woman. Hello, Priscila.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for that. I'm really happy to be here too.
Yeah. So thank you once more. So let's get real right from the start. Why is it that asking for help, even though it's a very human thing, and we all recognize that it is important to ask for help sometimes, why is it so hard to ask for help?
I can start? Okay. I think nowadays it's really common when we are growing up for us to see the world similar to other people because we grow up seeing the same internet, we grow up seeing the same television, we grow up going to school and almost learn the same thing everywhere. So it's common that we have the same habits, and one of those habits, it's the one that you must feel that you are confident all the time and you are fine all the time. So I think it's really hard for someone when everyone around them feels like, okay, I'm fine and everything's fine. But if I am not, why should I show that? If everyone is fine and I'm not, why is it something might be wrong, you see? So it's difficult. I think it's difficult for everyone to just admit that sometimes they are feeling not so well when everyone around them it is. Because I would at least feel weird. I would feel like out of the box because something is wrong with me and everything around me is fine. So I think it's like the way that we grow up, our bubble, something like that, that put this barrier, which is difficult for everyone just to assume that we sometimes are not okay.
Okay.
I also think it's the fear of judgment from the other person you're asking for help, and the fact that most of the times we compare our situations to the others and we think, oh, this person has worse than me, and that person is not asking for help, so why should I, since that person is worse than me? Or like, oh, this person went through the same situation as me and they got through it without any help, so I don't need it either. When maybe you need and the other person didn't, or maybe they did and went a lot worse than it could have been just because they didn't know how to ask for help.
Yeah, I actually, now that Barbara said that, I think both of the answers match really well because she said about the judgment of other people, like fearing the judgment of other people. When what I'm saying, it's like fearing judgment of myself, like judging myself, like if everyone is fine and I'm not. And then she said about everyone judging what I'm doing. So I think both types of judgment are really tough to face. It's like judging yourself and being judged by the others. So I think both ways are really tough, but
yeah, no, it's that was an interesting point that, yes, you both did talk about two different perspectives that they kind of come together. So self-judgment, but also other people judgment. Priscila, why do you think that this happens?
So we need to take courage to be vulnerable. What I want to say with this is very difficult nowadays to expose ourselves to a point where you feel safe. Especially because with the digital evolution, people nowadays feel more pressure to be something, you know? So if you don't know who you are, if you don't know how to cope with everything that is happening inside of you, it's going to be harder to make better decisions accordingly to what you think is the best for you. Because in this case, you're just looking out and making your decisions about what others, like you said, might think of me, might feel about me. So yes, judgment is always a place that grows people apart, never takes us in. And that's why it's so difficult. And sometimes asking for help, it means that I'm weak or that I'm crazy or whatever it can be. Sometimes the parents don't think it is okay to go to a psychologist. Sometimes even the students don't think they have even a problem. It can be many, many reasons. The reality nowadays is we can actually see that mental health problems are increasing drastically. And that's a massive concern. And I also think it has to do with this social pressure to be something and be something that is very perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. And not also be something, but be something positive. Because for young people and even for the adults who consume social media, all that we see there, nowadays we do see a little change in people trying to show the more realistic side to life. But the truth is they do it like for 2 minutes because everything else, it's still very polished and very good looking.
So it is true in that case, because being authentic is a process. It's something that you choose, but I don't think it's not about me thinking, but actually what shows is like we don't grow to be authentic. We grow to fit in some place, because we're human and we need to belong to something like a group. And it can be, has different stages of it. For example, teenagers, why do they focus more on friends than parents? Because it is very important to be part of something. So it's very difficult to go through those waves of challenges. And if you don't ask for help, it's going to be even harder for you to deal with all the shadows inside of you.
But do you think, for example, are we all in agreement that asking for help can be a little hard?
Yes.
Yes. And what would you say could be something that would help you reach out more easily as a young person? Because this project is mainly focused on you. What do you think? Because you've already said so, it's mainly personal and also outside people judgment that makes you maybe be a little, no, this will be a little awkward if I ask for. What could be something that would open the space for you to actually have support? What makes you close to support?
Okay, so in the same way, I said that your bubble or the things that are around you can make it harder to ask for help. I think if you are in a great bubble with great people surrounding you, it can be also easier to search for help, to ask for help. So I think it's very important to find the people, friends, family, parents, or just psychologists, whatever is needed for you. You need to be in a place, in a stage that the things that are surrounding you make you feel safe so you can ask for help. So for example, in my case right now, I would say that the best thing that I could have around me to be a safe place so I could ask for help would be my friends, because they are the people that I'm seeing every day and they are the most active in my daily routine. So I would say that having friends around me that make me feel safe in a way that I could ask for help, even for them, or just to tell them I need help, so they could, for example, guide me or tell me what I should do. It's something that would make everything completely different and easier, because it's the opposite of having a bubble that will put pressure on you and telling you, no, you are wrong. If you have people telling, no, it's fine, everyone passes through it, you're not like different from everyone, and we can help you and support you, is something that it's gonna change everything. So
yeah, I agree. Because I'm mostly the same, and also no pressure, because the more people pressure to ask for help, the less I'll want to. I'll feel just pressured, and then I'll just stress about it and not do anything.
Can I make a question?
Yes.
Whenever you think about help, what comes to your mind?
That's a good one.
Because I don't know, I'm really curious to
From my personal experience?
yes, to what is the meaning to you?
Personally, I never thought that I really needed to go to a psychologist. It might be wrong.
It's okay.
Because I have never seen me in a stage that I was like, something was ruining my day in a way that if I'm going to sleep and tomorrow I will wake up bad in the same way. What happens to me usually is that I have like small problems, big problems, and usually they are like splitting in different weeks or days. But sometimes it happens to have everything the same day. And in those days I am completely like stressed and anxious. But I have gone through that couple, 3-4 times. So I know this is gonna last for that day. When I go to sleep and I wake up in the next day, I'll be probably better because like it was that day that was really bad. And in that day, when I think asking for help, it's just to do the things in the most easy way. So for example, if I have classes, I'll go with my friends, I'll take the classes. Normally I will try just like to not overthink. And if I really need my friends like to support me, like for example, if I have to cry or if I have like just to skip a class because I'm not feeling well, then I would like to ask them to be with me because I don't want to be alone in those times. Yeah, for me, like asking for help, it's basically to have someone next to me. So if just like I don't feel alone by myself, I don't feel like lonely. And that's my personal experience till now.
So do you look at help as something to fill in?
Yeah, to feel comfortable, something that I could lay on. Like if everything is wrong, I can just lay on someone. You see? Does it make sense in English?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, lie on, not lay on.
Lay on.
Lay
yeah.
on. I think it is lay on.
I think, yeah, lay.
Okay.
Or laid.
Just like feel comfortable, like put some of the weight that is in my back on something else or someone else so I can feel less stressed at that point, you see? Like someone so I can share my problems so they don't all into me or on me. So it feels like lighter.
Okay.
To me, the first thing that comes to my mind is like speaking, like because it's where everything starts. Like if I need help, I'll talk to someone I'm comfortable with, and it depends on the situation. Sometimes I talk to my parents, sometimes I'll talk to my friends, and sometimes the help it's not even about the problem itself, but sometimes I need help to just turn off for a while and not overthink it. And sometimes I just go do that, like I'll invent something and just speak to my friends about it, or I'll just start speaking with my parents about something really random. And it's mostly around that.
Okay, so in your case, your biggest resource is your closest friends and family, right? That's what you're sharing in somehow, right?
Yes.
But my question related to that is like help, it can be something very wide, right? Are we agreeing on this?
Yeah.
So what is, in your thoughts, what is the role of the psychologist on this? When should you go there? When should you go from just asking my friend to someone that actually has the skills or the techniques to help you go maybe further than what actually these people can do? Like,
Yeah, just because I do think this is the point. People, I personally, for example, for me, it's not hard to go to a friend and say, my day was terrible and I'm feeling terrible as well. That feels very natural for me. But if I have to think, nowadays not so much, but when I was younger, if I have to think, no, I actually maybe need someone that actually can deconstruct what I'm thinking, that was a harder step for me to take. Yeah.
so for you, when is like the switching point?
Okay, for most or part of the people, there is a switching point. So, for example, I am in this stage and now I think that I need a psychologist.
Okay.
But I know that somehow actually those switch points, that switch points should be like even earlier before having the problem. Like I know that everyone should go to psychologist not because you have a problems, but just because if you go to psychologist, you can just manage like decisions you're taking, or you have someone professional to understand how you're thinking. And when someone understands how you're thinking, you can just prevent future problems, prevent future stresses, prevent future anxiety. So I know, I think for someone who doesn't go to the psychologist, but can, like the switching point for that person would be when this stress, anxiety, or whatever it is messing around his like routine, and they can't avoid it. Because as I said, if I am like having a bad day, my options are like talking to friends, so I can just like try to relax and chill out about the topic. But I think it's a huge problem when you cannot do that in any way. So that thought is just coming to your mind and hitting your head every time. So that would be for me at least the switching point. Like, okay, now I need some help. Like I can't deal with this. Like I don't have more resource. Like if my main source right now is my friends and my family, and this is not working, then I should find something else than a psychologist. But I also know that this shouldn't happen because I should have a psychologist since before that.
No, it is what it is. It's not about you need to go with some specific like date where you need to go to the psychologist or not. People also need to be ready to it, you know. For example, because it's really difficult to work with someone that is not emotionally available to do the work, because they might be like in mental state where they say, yeah, I want to do this, but then it's very difficult to go further because the person is not ready emotional wise. So time is not the thing that determines.
Yeah.
Time is not the thing that determines if the process, the therapeutical process, is going to be good or not, or if it's going to be better, worse, whatever it is, the outcome. The main, for me, telling you what could be an important way to look at it is looking at how functional I am at the moment. Is the way that I'm living, the way that I'm coping, the way that I'm relating with others is functional to me. And whenever we talk about functional, because it's very different. For one person, it can be having a very structured life with very specific routines, whatever it can be. For others, it can be all over the place, doing different things, and both of them are okay with it. So they're functional. They can do their lives the way they want to. The problem is when we start to feel like, I can't. I don't have the energy. I don't have the strength. I don't want to face this. I'm struggling, you know? And whenever that starts to go on the longer ride, that's when it starts to create holes inside of you in somehow.
Okay.
I agree with everything. I don't have anything to I don't have anything to add to it.
Yeah, but for example, Luis, you said that you would now agree that maybe you do need a professional help. You said that maybe now I do need a psychologist. So what stops you from actually doing this? Because there is a bunch of things that we might consider as barriers for why don't we do this. Because so you already did the hardest part, which is admitting, okay, bless my friends, my family, they all are trying to help me, but it's not working. I need something extra. So you already broke this barrier down, and you already admitted, okay, maybe a psychologist would be an easier way for me to deal. So what do you think are the barriers that are present on this case for you not to?
Okay, so when I said like my friends and families are not supportive enough in a way that I need a psychologist, it was an example.
Yes, no, it's not about saying that your friends or family isn't. No, this is just what I'm trying to say is that, of course, and I can give my own example. My friends, specifically, they always try, whenever I'm complaining about something very specific, they always try to help, and I always listen. I always be like, okay, next day it will be better. I can actually, because I'm still functioning. Whether that's good or bad, it depends on the functioning, like Priscilla said. But then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, no, because they can still do this and be these people to lean on, as you've said. But the leaning is not enough because you're already on the other step. So even if, for example, in your case specifically, you still think that this is enough support. What do you think, both of you actually, for Barbara as well, what do you think makes young people scared to take this step? Is it economical? Is it cultural? Is it, because there can be, we know sometimes money is an issue for not actually finding professional help.
I think it could be different things, actually, different aspects. If you asked me this question, if someone asked me this question like 5 years ago, I would say that I don't know why should I go to a psychologist. Like I wouldn't have not knowledge, but I wouldn't have like a reason to go because I don't know what is the reason to go. Right now I know why people should go to psychologists, why people should search for helping and everything, for help and everything. But I know that many people in my age, if I ask them like, why should you go to a psychologist? They'll say, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to do inside of the room. Like, are we going to talk? Are we going to do what? So I think a lot of people are actually missing knowledge about the context. So they don't know why they should go or what they're going to do or what are the results or the goals of going to a psychologist.
What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. In general, I think this is one of the things that is a barrier for a lot of people. A lot of people doesn't even know that they might need a psychologist. They are just struggling and like, okay, leave it for tomorrow, leave it for tomorrow, leave it for tomorrow. And they don't actually know that they need a psychologist or it could be good for them. I think economically can be also a barrier for a lot of people. But thanks God, nowadays we have a lot of other resources for psychologists. At least the high school I went and also the university I go, they have support for mental health with psychologists. I don't know if that happens in all the country.
I think mostly they have.
Most part of the country they have psychologists in high school and also the universities. I know they are not the psychologists that we're searching for some specific types of problems, but it's a way for you just to get the first step, and maybe that psychologist could guide you to another one or recommend you another one. So it is already a first step. And I think everything is a barrier, to be honest, just like distance, your parents, your bubble, your thoughts. I think everything can be a barrier, to be honest.
Yeah, I think one of the barriers too is especially young people, like the parent, for example, they'll immediately start, why do you want to go? Like, what is wrong with you? Not like support is, nothing's wrong with you. Sometimes the parents don't accept that the kid needs help outside of them. And most of the people, they think that, oh, she's going to the psychologist, something must be really, really wrong with her. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes, look, I just need help and nothing around me is working right now, so I'm going to get professional help and see what I can do for myself so I can know myself and help myself in a healthy way, because there are unhealthy ways to help yourselves. And yeah, that I would say that's one too.
Priscilla, so what are people doing in therapy? It's
the great question, right?
So I'm going to a psychologist.
And what do you do?
What am I the hell doing there? What am I actually?
It's a great question. So it's all about the relationship that you create with the person, okay? We are human and each one of us crave for connection. And imagine that you're in big pain, you're struggling, you have a lot of things going inside of you, you don't know what's happening, and you just want someone to understand you, to listen to you, to feel like they see me, you know, they see my pain. Because sometimes, even though we explain our pains to our friends, it's different because they're always going to have their opinion about our pain. So, and the role of the psychologist is not to give opinions. We don't give opinions. We don't say what is the best choice for your life. We don't say you should do this, you shouldn't do this. What we do is we'll help you to understand what are the tools that you need to go through life. So if you have to make a decision in your life, or if you need to understand something about yourself, I'm going to help you to see the path, going with you, but I'm not doing the path for you. That's different. I'm next to you, but I'm not the one who's going to pick up the shovel and start digging. That's not my role. But I'm going to tell you how you need to do it so that you can go through it and then come out of it better. So basically, it's like you have to go on a trip, imagine, and it's like going to the desert. And then you are in the middle of the desert, you don't know where to go, and you have two choices. Or you stay in the place that you are and you might die, or you just start walking. And during the process, you might find your oasis. And that's our goal as a psychologist, is to help you to find your oasis, is to help you to find the strengths, and also to take in all the pains. Because usually what we do, we reject everything that we think is bad. And that's not the goal. Because whenever we do that, we are in separation of ourselves. And that creates a bigger pain. Because then it's like, so if I need to take this from me, it's going to leave a hole. And then I have to fill it with something. And maybe you don't have to fill it. You just have to look at it, take care of it, and see like, this is also part of me. The bad events or the difficult events of your life also takes you to the point where you are. They make you the person that you are. The difference is whenever they become too much to what you can handle. And that's how, once again, the psychologist comes and you... The reason why we talk a lot or we use the talking is because, imagine, we don't assume things about the person that is in front of us. It's based on what you say to me that I can build up. So if you don't say anything, I can observe you, it's true, and make you questions and try to figure out. But it's going to be way harder for you, for me, because I have to keep digging and not knowing if I'm being too pushy or not. It's like always trying to balance. But sometimes it works too. There are some people that find really difficult to express their thoughts, their ideas, their feelings. For example, the other day I was on an appointment with a young girl. She's on 9th grade, and she was struggling a lot, and she could not speak at all. She could not speak, and the only thing she could do was crying. I did not ask her to tell me, so tell me, what is happening? I start wondering, are you going through some difficult things? And then she would nod her head or something. And then I realized that I needed to find a different way to reach to her without talking. So I asked her to write me down whatever was the problem to her. And because she had the time to write it down, to just calm herself, because she was making a conscious decision of expressing her feelings, her thoughts, it was a way for letting go the pain too. So being a psychologist and the process in psychologist is not just listening. It's a big component, but it's not the main one. We also need to help and that's the part that I feel is more demanding to us. Because whenever you're talking, I need to listen, need to think, need to try to imagine what it could be the next good question, so then I can get to the point where the person gets to the same place that I want her to get, but through her challenges, through her path, not mine. So being a psychologist is more than just being seated there and listen.
Yeah, it's more than the box of tissues, the glasses, and the couch.
It's also important. It's also important, but it's way more from that. And I do believe that this also comes from all the historical background that psychology has, because it was very medical model. So it was very orientated to remediation, So whenever you have a problem, you go to the psychologist. Nowadays, the goal I see where we're going through is to a place where I'm going to the psychologist not because I have a problem, but because I want to know myself. Because I want to learn to be with myself in a more functional way. And I think that's quite amazing. I see people changing their lives in 3 months. But like changes that the person cannot even recognize who she is or who he is. So I think it's like a massive tool, but at the same time, I do understand that nowadays it can be expensive to some families. Even though we have some resources, like college that supports, even some organizations that also provide to the community free appointments. But still, we're still very far away from what could be this kind of resource.
Yeah, available for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in your opinion, if you could pinpoint, for example, what would make this step more easy, what would it be?
I think... Can you come again with the question?
Yeah. So we are now all very clear of what a psychologist does and why, what people are actually doing inside of a psychologist office. But we talked about the barriers, so the things that might be stopping young people, but not only, to actually go and reach for help. So what are the things that maybe would make this step easier?
Okay. I asked for you to come again because I need time to think. I understood on the first time.
At least you're honest. That's okay.
Yeah. I think, as you said, just to turn it available for everyone, it's a great thing. But being available for everyone doesn't mean that everyone is going to reach to it. Because I come back to what I said previously, that a lot of people doesn't even know that they should do it or how is it going to be. So I think also... some type of like, this is really specific, but in a way in school to show them what is psychology and why should they understand about it. So like raising them to know that, not raising because raising it's too strong, but like really having something school that will show them that this is important. So like giving them the knowledge that they should go for it. Deconstructing the whole lore and the whole idea around. Yeah, I don't think it's not even therapy. Deconstructing, because for deconstruct you must have something to deconstruct. And I think a lot of people doesn't have not even an idea about what is psychology. So just telling them what is, it exists. You see, I know that many friends know that it exists, but doesn't even know like what is it, the purpose of it. Yeah. You see, and for those who need to deconstruct, also deconstruct. And then once everyone knows that it's really important, then yes, it has to be available for everyone. Yeah. Because I feel if it was available for everyone right now, we would have a lot of psychologists like waiting for a lot of people, because a lot of people wouldn't go just for like other reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And with that, I also think that we could like promote, I don't know the word, that it's okay to not be okay. You don't need to immediately fix the problem. You can let yourself like, okay, I'm not okay right now. If I need to cry, I'm going to cry. If I need just some time alone, I'm going to have it. And then when you have like a cooler head, ask for help or do whatever is best for you. And just like from an early age, you just think it's okay to not be okay. It's okay for this day to not be your day, because you don't need to have a good day every day. That's just exhausting at some point.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Luiz, I will let you in a second. But this is why I also talked about deconstructing, because I mean, maybe it's different in your generation, which I do still think it's the same as mine, but for some reason it feels very far apart. But for example, I see people around my age. It's not that they don't know what a psychologist does, because mostly they do know, but it's always like, why would I need to do it? They are having terrible days for months. So it's not you're just having a terrible day today. And they will be the first ones to say, I'm not doing fine. But then it's always, why would I go? I can solve myself. I just go to the gym and this will solve. I've met people like this. And so this is why I also said deconstructing, because I feel like there is still the stereotype that you cannot be not okay. You have to always be good. And so if you're not doing great, you just have to kind of swallow it up and keep doing what you have to do without trying to find this pathway. Yeah, I'm sorry now.
No, I was going to say that it can go even a little bit further of like, it's okay to not be okay. I mean, this is a long process, of course, but at some point it could be like just a habit from the human being of like going to the psychologist to do a checkup. Because people go to the doctor to do a checkup like once a year, once like each 6 months. Like, okay, I'm going to go just to check if everything all right. And if it comes to something normal in our like routine to go to psychologist, then it's not even about like it's okay to not be okay. It's like I'm going to the psychologist not because I'm not okay, but it's because it's something that it helps me to grow up independent of like how I am right now. As Priscilla said, like the people that go to psychologists because they want to understand about them better, because they want to change their lives or the way that they will do decisions. It's not because they're feeling bad. It's just because they know it's great to go. Like it's not about how I am now. It's about it's important. It's good.
So but it's hard.
Yeah.
I cannot say that it's not hard. Okay. Going to therapy, it's not like all bubbles and roses where everything's going to be okay. No. It will be okay after the storm. You have to go through the pain. And usually people run away from it. And that's the main issue also. And that's why we avoid to ask help too. Because then to the moment whenever I ask help, I'm assuming to myself that I have issues. And that could be also very difficult for me. Because then what do? I might feel that I don't have the enough resource, like internal resource to solve it. Or even I might not have friends or family to go to it. Like this is way complex. It's really like way complex to actually just put it in like small boxes where we can say, yeah, if everyone goes, everyone will be fine. Not really. We cannot, they can be better at the way that they cope with it. Because for me, the process is also about learning to sink in every place that you don't like. Because you need to learn to be uncomfortable. You need to learn to be angry because sometimes you're not angry enough. You need to learn to be sad and allow the sadness to come to your body. Because then people say, I don't have any energy. Okay, so how have you been feeling lately? I'm okay. And what is the meaning of being okay? Because then we learn to just be okay. It's like in this, and life, it isn't like that. It's like, we are like the weather. We can have like, wake up and be like,
sunny,
foggy or sunny, and then 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're just gonna be like thunderclouds, and then you're like sunny again, and then you're like, and it's okay, it's part of it, you know, because it's life happening. The thing is like, what is the impact that has in you? You know, and that's where the help, the resources can make the difference. Because then you learn to identify. And also it helps in the way that you relate with others. Because then you start to understand what's yours, what's your wounds, and what's the other bringing to you. So you can make better boundaries. Because then you know, oh, this is my pain. This is my wound. Like, oh, having the fear of being rejected. That's why I don't do X behavior. Instead of just pouring my frustrations towards this other person because I'm feeling alone, for example.
Yeah, but this is a very normal human experience. Because the thing is, we were talking about the weather, such a complex subject as well. But it's because humans are also very complex. And I think sometimes, I mean, even though things are changing, as people, we still value way more, for example, our physical health over our mental health. And whether we are aware of it or not, our mental health will impact how we feel physically. And of course, in more progressive states, it can be very worsening. And the thing is, because what Priscilla said now, it also goes, for example, with something that we said before that I wanted to kind of dig a little bit, which was that when you're asking for your help to your friends, then you pour into them. But maybe pouring into other people, it's not the healthy thing to do. And this is where maybe the professional help comes and it's needed. Because, for example, for us, we think, and our friends, of course, they are there, they love us, so they want to help. But sometimes people take our pains as their selves, and maybe something that we feel like we are just now blabbing and I'm telling you that I'm feeling terrible, and then the person will take this to another place and they will also feel these things. So this is also not saying that it's wrong, of course, because we all do this and we all share with each other how we are feeling, but sometimes pouring our problems into others so we feel lightly, maybe it's not exactly what can help both of us. Yeah, it might help us, but then it might do the other person also to get a little more heavy.
Let me just say one thing. Like, once I heard something that made a major impact in me, that was, you don't need that other people to understand you. You need to understand yourself. Because usually we want so bad that others to see us, to understand us. So he doesn't understand me. He cannot understand me, or she cannot, and we get upset because the other person, but it's okay. They might never understand us because they are not living in our skin. They don't have our stories. They don't have our traumas. They don't have our resources. So they might not get there ever. And it's fine. So it's way more about us being responsible of our emotions than backwards. It's about us being responsible of our process, of our things, than actually others. If you give me this, I'll be better. Yes, I can be better because I'm here with you and I'm enjoying this and we're listening to new things, we're sharing, so we're becoming better. But I don't need that you fill in my cup. I can do it myself. So one of the things that we also need to learn is to rely on ourselves.
Yeah. And this makes me think of a thing my mother always told me is some things aren't for us to understand. And the same thing they aren't for us to understand, they aren't also for other people to understand. And this can be a very frustrating experience because, for example, for me, it's very personally when I'm trying to explain something and someone is like, that's too emotional, I don't get it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't get it? But then I've already done this work that it's like, that's okay if you don't get me, because the only person who actually should get and maybe doesn't, it's myself, as Priscilla was saying. And so we talked here about, for example, family psychologists, but what other type of resources do you know? And then Priscilla will, of course, let us know what resources there are.
For well-being in general or mental health?
Mental health mainly, yeah.
I mean, I think the type of practices that will allow you, because, okay, so Priscilla said you should search for a psychologist when you don't feel functional, when you see that you're not functional in a way that you used to be or you should be.
According to your
yes.
criteria of what is being functional.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. But there are some stuff that will not bring you to be functional as you used to be, but they can also help you to de-stress the stressing that you're feeling at that moment. So yes, if you're not functional, you should go to a psychologist, yes. But maybe there are some stuff that at that moment will like relieve what you're feeling. So for example, yoga.
Yoga. Did you know that there's this study in PTSD made with veterans that has shown that former veterans with that disorder, whenever they started to do yoga, the symptoms decreased. And the reason behind that is because trauma, it's hold on the body.
It stays on the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I said it.
We could understand what you were
Like,
trying to
the
say.
body
For people
keeps-
that speak Portuguese, it's fine to understand.
Yeah, right? So I'm going to rephrase it again. So basically, trauma stays in the body. Because what happens is like our body needs to protect us from any kind of harm. Any. Even though if it's real or not. Because one thing is real danger, like someone getting in here or a bear coming in or whatever. The other thing is like the fact that I'm in danger because I don't have friends. You know, it's the feeling of not belonging or feeling alone. And we can only survive in community. A baby cannot survive without his mother or someone who take care of him, right? So we are social, psychosocial and emotional beings. So we need the community to help us to grow and become better. So yoga bring us very much to our body, to being aware of our body. And our body always tell us where is the pain.
Okay. I've got everything that you said. Okay, don't worry. I know what you meant about PT.
PTSD.
Yes, people with trauma. But what does PTSD stand for? Sorry.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay. I understood what you meant. I just didn't know, like...
But you know what it is, right?
No, yeah, I've got everything.
Okay.
I just didn't know what it stands. It stands for.
No, it's okay. We don't need to know everything.
Yes.
So resources.
Yoga. What else?
Personally, journaling.
Journaling. I love journaling.
It's not even journaling for me. It's just writing, to be honest. Because journaling is like when you try to do like the journal of your day, like to figure out the stuff. It's more specific journaling, but then, for example,
It might not be. Journaling is about creating an habit where you express your thoughts, your feelings in a more free way or a more structured way consistently.
Yeah. So in this case, I can like...
Sorry.
That happened to everyone. It's fine.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I also then, if I can use the same word, it's fine. I use journaling, for example, and I have to do like university works.
Yeah.
So I just write everything down to like organize what I need to do first, and then after what should be a priority or should not. So just writing in general for me became an habit that it really helped me. Mainly in paper, because I used to do a lot on just like notes application on phone. But I've seen that when I do on paper, it feels better. Like studying on paper feels better than studying on computer or tablet. But yeah,
Like
so writing, journaling for me became something really nice.
Neurological, it's different. Because your brain needs to send signals to your body so that you can actually write the full sentence, hold a pencil. So it's a whole process completely different than it's just write it down on the phone.
Yeah,
it's way more complex.
Yeah. For example, for me, reading, I cannot read digitally. My brain cannot accept that. So I have to do it with the book, which is quite more expensive, but that's the way it works. But writing is definitely a powerful tool. And as talking about journaling, it can be more or less structured, and it doesn't have to be daily. That's a misconception, because you can just do it whenever it makes sense for you. Because, for example, I don't journal because I don't think I'm able to put my feelings specifically like that. But, for example, I write poetry. And I do this on a daily basis, or sometimes not even weekly. It's when I'm actually feeling that I'm very emotionally charged and I need to kind of let it go. I usually write it in poetry.
So I generalize to writing.
Yeah, writing is an amazing tool. Yeah.
I usually say it's a door to your soul.
What, sorry?
A door to your soul.
Ah, okay.
Because imagine, whenever you start writing, you might start with a thought, and then whenever you start to develop, you're going to get to a place where you see, oh, maybe this is not the main issue. Maybe I'm struggling with something else than actually not what I ever thought before.
And for you, Bárbara?
I mean, specific things I don't I don't really know a lot of them. I mean, drawing can also be one.
Yes.
Like, it's basically comes down to something that will not stress you out. Like, you will need to figure it out what you like and what you don't like, and not be scared to not like what everyone likes. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yes.
Don't waste your energy on that. Not waste, but use your energy to stuff you actually like, and stuff you'll feel good after doing that.
Yeah, I also think, for example, for me, music is one, and it's the one I use the most, to be honest, because writing poetry, this takes me, because then I'm a perfectionist, and that takes a whole nother level of
This is not correct.
but for example, musical is something that in an easy way helps me. So if I'm feeling too sad, I put some depressing songs, and then I'm like, I'm done with the depressing songs, and I can go and pop something more fun to actually make my mood feel lighter. But Priscilla, what would you say that, you know, besides of course the psychologists, which we know are very important, could be good resources that young people could use to...
So basically, you need to find a routine where you take time of your day to just do something that helps you to become more centered again, more grounded. So it can be, like you said, just from writing, going outside for a walk, going with your dog, or just cuddling with your cat, or whatever it can be. It can also be you taking a good shower where you take the time to take some salt baths, for example. It's the fact that you're interrupting all the craziness of the day, and then you're saying, no, it's okay, body, I can relax now. Because what happens is, like, because we're always in a high speed, because life nowadays demands that for everyone. So you need to find times to do breaks. So imagine one of the things that I usually do, because for me it helps me a lot, is breathing, long breathing. For example, I'm too stressed because I'm having a lot of things to do and I don't have enough breaks. So I just stop in my chair and I just do this. And I do the sound. It's really important to actually, it's like me releasing all the stress from my day or from the moment that I'm feeling it. Because even the sound has an effect in your brain. It's like saying to yourself, oh, I'm releasing things. Okay. So meditation is also a really good thing. You can do magic, but people say, I know what you're going to say.
Well, I cannot do that.
Everyone can, okay? I was the person that a couple of years ago, I would say I hate meditation. Nowadays, it's the thing that I most use for my balance and even to help my clients go through their struggles.
That's
because it has one main resource that is breathing. And breathing is life.
Some of us are not very good at that as well.
You need to take more breaks.
People with asthma.
Need to have deeper breaths. Like
with asthma, it's a whole different thing, Luis.
So also, like you said, the goal is to do some task that is actually not demanding, like mental, emotional. It's about you to do something like to indicate to your body that you just can relax at the moment.
Yeah.
So you need to find that. It can be going to paddle, going to tennis, going for a coffee with your friend. The thing is, you need to find what are the things that most gives you time to actually relax and feel like connected again and grounded again. So that's really important.
May I add something, just like personal opinion?
Of course.
Because I said like yoga, but I have never done yoga. Okay.
It's okay.
But something that it really helps me a lot, and I can use the example just from yesterday, it's to having like my day organized, like what I'm gonna do.
For example, lists.
Yeah, usually I go to school like by train, come back by train, everything. But yesterday I went by car because I had to study too late. I was the whole day thinking about like studying too late, about coming back by car the next day and everything. I was like just seeing all the ways that something could go wrong because I have nothing planned basically, and then everything feels way more stressful just because I don't have like my normal routine. And then this is something really like it's impossible to have every day organize it, but when I don't have one day not organize it or just like in a way that I feel that I can know what's coming next, then it's just something that it's enough to get me a little bit stressed more than I am usually.
So the trick is keep it simple and not being too demanding on yourself. Even whenever you do lists, you need to think about that probably you're going to like fill your list with a lot of goals. So reduce that to half, because then you need always to take in about things that you're not aware that's going to happen. For example, imagine traffic, and then you had an appointment at 3 with something, for example, or then you thought it will take like 1 hour to do an essay, and then you're taking like 2 or 3. But then you had like multiple other tasks. You're going to be like, oh my God, I am, you know, so the level of stress just going to rise. So the trick is like adjust. Don't put more, because then if you have space to do more, you will do it.
Yes, I completely agree with what you said, because it also happens to me like when I have too much stuff to do in a day. But it's even simple. It's even more simple. Like even if it's an empty day, if I know that it's gonna be empty, is that enough for me to be like, okay, it's an empty day? But if I don't know if it's gonna be empty or not, you see, it's not about like having a lot of stuff. It's about not knowing what is coming next.
It's an habit already.
Yeah.
It's your brain associating
It's about routine.
structure.
It's not about how much I have to do on that day. It's about like having a routine. But it's fine. I mean,
routine is very important.
we deal with it.
It's very important.
As long as you are dealing with it.
As long as I'm functional.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
so proud of you. There you go. Yes.
So thank you so much for your for sharing, and also for being so honest. For our listeners, just to let you know, if that was not clear till now, that asking for help, even though it might feel a little scary, it's a very human experience. So we all need, we all deserve, and we all should take up space when needed. And there are many forms of help, and we've shared some, from professional help to having our friends or our own routine and hobbies that might help us cope. But also there are hotlines that we all can use, and we all now use our phones for everything. So if you search, there you're always going to find new resources. Just be aware that some resources might not be the exact ones for you. This is where our critical thinking comes to play. And was very lovely to have you all here with me. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was really nice conversation. Thank you so much.
I can say the same.
For sharing. It was a really good time. Very well spent.
Thank you. Tá?